And we are live.
Sir, baga tayong soundboard.
Yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Ano, gagamitin naman natin dito?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Later,
walang
when we
gulatan ha. Ito
start.
na yung preemptive warning.
Were you saving it for something?
Father Bruce is on here for that. Sorry. Hey, Bruce.
Hello,
what's up?
hello.
Bruce Glendale, what's up?
I love you, Glendale. I love you, Bruce. Who is gonna go tomorrow?
Oo nga, pa-vibe check naman or
Yeah.
pa-attendance check.
Yeah. Please say so in the comments. It's gonna be fun.
Pag hindi fun, Emil, para sa kanila, may
Ano
consequence ka
gagawin
ba?
mo?
How can we even quantify that?
Sasabihin lang nila, I did not have fun, Emil. Subjective yun, di ba? Customer experience is subjective.
Does Emil's love for Solo translate to tonight's pod? Yes, it does. Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Again, I said I'm a fan now, so.
Oh, sabayan mo, Emil.
I love you, Solo!
I love you,
Dapat-
Solo. It is funny. That's why, nakakatawa siya eh. You know, it got over. You know,
Oh,
such a
Jacob
simple-
Fatu got over.
Yeah, exactly. Anything he does, you know. Anything he
Minsan
does
napapaisip ko
gets
kayo,
over.
what does Jacob Fatu consume to come up with these things?
Uh, to be fair, he has a lot of kids, so he's probably used to saying "I love you" a lot.
Ilan anak niya?
7.
Seryoso?
Yeah,
Damn. Didn't know that. Today I learned.
yeah.
Hello,
That's a lot of
Ninang
kids.
Abby. Do you
Ninang
also
Abby.
love Solo?
Hindi ka niya maririnig. Hindi na maririnig yung sinasabi mo.
Oo nga pala.
Dapat pala ina-add din natin sa soundboard yung kay Kitama Tonga.
Ah, that's right, that's right.
Oh, yeah. That's a new one. Yeah.
Oh. Ginago pa ni Carlo eh. Habang nasa broadcast kami ang puta.
You know, so Solo Sikoa is the only one who doesn't have a thing yet.
Ano kay Tongaloa?
Yung watching niya.
Just being himself. That's
Just
what
being
makes
himself.
him.
Uy, adore Ray. Hindi na si Emil others. Nakiki-join na rin siya.
How does one cosplay as Jacob Fatu? Ang naisip ko lang yung sleeveless na t-shirt.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's-
tsaka
Oh,
dreads.
Awi, what's up, man?
Hello, Awi.
I mean, are you guys even gonna cosplay tomorrow?
Yeah,
Di na Halloween
I
eh.
fucking spent money on my mask. So
Okay. So I will too. Kasi kanina ko
So,
pinag-isipan
teka,
yun eh.
you spent money on your vest, dude. And I'm sure Rowan spent money on his fake beard.
Yeah, I'll tell Rowan to
Pinalig ko niya yung
Full on
hat
his
ni Bray
costume.
Wyatt eh, so wala.
Oh,
okay. I will let's also
tsaka
encourage
it's only
our
been a week
listeners.
since Halloween, so you know.
It'll just look like I'm in a Hawaiian shirt. So wala na.
So to our listeners, please do come in costume. Para
Kung
di
meron.
kami, para di kami lang.
All right, time to shut up now.
Let's go.
I'm the best wrestler in the world. My name is Carlo Cash Money Cannon.
Hey, this is the Cosmic Cactus, Paul London.
What do we want to talk about?
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
Because mommy is always on top.
What's going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
I'm home.
We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
To say his name.
Name and he appeared.
Hello, my name is Ina Dragunov.
It's LA Knight's game. Yeah.
She's on me, bitch.
Hey everyone, this is Jeff Cobb.
You have a father, but your father's dead.
G'day everyone, TMDK Sniper of the Skies, Robbie Eagles here.
And you're listening.
And you're listening
to the Wrestling Podcast.
And you're listening to the Wrestling Podcast.
To the Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
You're listening to the Wrestling Podcast. Yeah.
Not Clemente! I love you, Solo! I love you!
We didn't ask him to put that in.
Yeah, I got caught off guard.
Good night, Jasper. You're outdone yourself once again.
Grade A
Good
edit
job,
from
Jasper.
babyface producer Jasper. All right, let's start the show properly. You are listening to the longest running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast.
I love you, Solo!
Stan C, Romaran, Chino Liao, and Emil Nate at your service. And we love Solo on this podcast, clearly. Oh, man. So much fun with the I Love You Solo soundbites. Clearly, in-upgrade din namin yung soundboard at in-update din ni Babyface producer Jasper yung OBB natin, yung intro natin. So how about a round of applause for Babyface producer Jasper? Mga TPN bosses, pakibigyan po ng raise si Babyface producer Jasper.
Employee of the year, right here.
Oh. Sana mabigyan ng raise. Now na. Tsaka
Sana may
14th month,
15th month.
Pay ka, Jasper.
The survey ni Babyface producer Jasper. All right, we got a lot to talk about for tonight, but we're going to start things off by promoting Graps Giving Quiz Night, which is happening tomorrow at Hobby Stadium. So, naudlot siya dahil kay Christine. So now we're picking up where we left off. We're going to do this tomorrow, November 8, 7 p.m. sa Hobby Stadium. And we were just talking about this in pre-show. You can come in costume if you want, especially for those of you na gumastos na rin lang for your costumes. So go wear it. We'll have a belated Halloween celebration over at Hobby Stadium. We've got a lot of prizes to give away. Nasa Facebook page natin, facebook.com/wrestling podcast. Yung prizes, we've got the Funko Pops. We've got t-shirts from Everybody's Toys and Collectibles. We have the updated blaster cards, WWE blaster cards, courtesy of our friends from Hobby Stadium. And alam nating updated kasi nandyan na si CM Punk. So alam nating bago siya. Okay?
So, if you don't win the cards, pwede mo siyang bilhin from Hobby Stadium for only 2,700 pesos. I might just do that kasi I don't know, I've been on a card thing lately. So maganda yung bagong cards eh. I've seen some of them and they look pretty good.
Yun, so baka mag-film pa si Ro ng pull content coming out of the quiz night. So go join us this Friday. We're so excited to meet you all in person again. Lalo na yung mga regulars natin like si Doc G who wants to avenge his loss in the previous quiz night.
To the Tams.
To the Tams. Sino natin kung magpapakita ulit yung defending champions natin, the Tam Twins. Or if we're going to be crowning a new undisputed quiz night champion. So that's all tomorrow, November 8, 7 p.m. sa Hobby Stadium. All right, how about we show some love to Blast TV?
Okay, so WWE on Blast TV, I think only a couple of months left, 1.5 months left, kasi we might just be getting WWE on Netflix, but you know, Raw, NXT, SmackDown still showing on Blast TV, especially other sports as well, the Euro League, the WNBA, tapos na WNBA, other sport, the NFL as well.
NBA, sa Tanta Sports,
Yeah,
sa
the
Blast
NBA,
TV.
Satanta, yeah. A whole bunch of other UFC as well, also showing on Blast TV. So all the other great content you can get for free if you are a subscriber of Converge, Globe at Home, or even PLDT Stream TV. So for everyone else, it's 179 pesos only. Go guys. Meron pang time, you know, to maybe in a couple of months you will have to pay for WWE again. So habang libre pa, sulitin na net www.blasttv.ph. Once again, go check that out while it's here.
All right, yeah, heed that reminder from Rome. Okay, let's start with some news from outside the ring for this week. And we got to talk about the Road to WrestleMania tour in Europe na gagawin ng WWE in March 2025. And this one's pretty wild because WWE is going through 9 countries, 11 cities across 18 days in March. And this includes Raw and SmackDown. So these episodes of the weekly shows will be emanating from places like Italy, London, Germany. So I don't think WWE's done a Europe trip na ganito kalaki. Yung tipong kasama yung live TV shows.
Yeah, I wonder what the safe word is. It's amazing though, actually, that they're including, as in they're fully integrating in TV episodes. Because before, syempre, as we all know, house shows lang kapag Europe, and the most you'll get is UK televised Raw or SmackDown, diba? And then this is amazing. So if this is successful, and it's gonna be a different setup kasi syempre the Europe time is way different from US time, so they will be most likely pre-taping these episodes of SmackDown and Raw. And if this is successful, who knows, they might just do the same thing for Asia. Malay mo, karon tayo ng SmackDown live from MOA Arena. Hopefully not Raw live from the Philippine Arena. But you know,
Bukawi,
it's possible.
Bulacan.
Yeah, from Bukawi, Bulacan.
Coming to you live from Bukawi, Bulacan.
But you know, you never know. I mean, if this takes off, they could just, you know, do their jaunt across Southeast Asia, you know, Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, whatever have you. It's a nice picture of what it could look like. Kasi they really are maximizing the first W in WWE. Kung matuloy yung rumored Backlash event in Japan next year, I think that is a good sign for things to come.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ako muna. Alright, so I love this kasi if this goes well, there might be a chance na even the weekly shows, they take it all over the world na. Hindi lang puro sa US like Ro just said. Plus, this Europe tour will be an advantage for me kasi gising ako ng gabi, and they actually the UK channels do actually broadcast Raw and SmackDown live pag nasa Europe sila. So, advantage sa akin kasi I can watch Raw and SmackDown a little bit earlier. Lalo na, papalapit na to ng WrestleMania. So,
paano ba ginagawa yun, Emil? Paki-explain nga para sa mga Filipino fans, paano mo nagagawa yun?
Graveyard shift, di ba?
Graveyard shift, yeah. I can watch it through dun sa may sa page na may aso.
So may unang hirit archery.
Yeah. But yeah, this is I feel like this is a trial for them siguro na what if not just PLEs that we can take all over the world, but also yung ating weekly TV episodes.
Mm-hmm. Chino, you'll be in the US by this time, diba? So are you a bit sad na hindi siya magsa-stop over sa San Francisco?
Okay.
I think we lost Chino straight up. Ayun, there. Chino's
here. Din sa sinabi nyo. It's going in and out. I'm so sorry. You know, okay. Wala akong naintindihan, but I will just say that I'm looking forward to this because I believe dadating din tayo sa point na it might be in Asia. Diba? If this is successful and they're able to pull this off in all the cities that they're stopping at, who knows? Their next stop might be Asia. Kasi yun na lang yung kulang eh. Nag-Australia na sila. Nag-Europe na sila. Asia's right there, man. And it's potentially the biggest market for the WWE here. Kasi ang laki-laki niya. So, balang araw, di ba, magkakaroon din tayo ng Raw live from Philippine Arena. Somebody probably made that joke already. There's a serious lag on my end. I am so sorry, everybody. But yun lang. I'm just excited. And sana alagaan din ng wrestlers yung kanilang well-being because jet lag is pretty undefeated in my experience. So sana sila din kaya na ng talunan yun.
Mhm. Another thing that is undefeated is technical issues. Ganun talaga. We will always put over our lack of internet connectivity. And we make all of these jokes now, sometimes at each other's expense, but it's our way of coping. Yung copium natin after the weird 24 hours we have had all around the world. But I think, regardless of our political alignment, we can all agree on our love of professional wrestling. So we march on and go to Monday Night Raw. Ito, pag-usapan natin something that's less polarizing, I hope. Damian Priest, the new number one contender to the World Heavyweight Championship. He defeated Seth freaking Rollins, Sheamus, and sino isa? Crap. Dominic Mysterio. There, yeah. So we're getting the rematch. Gunther versus Damian Priest. Di natin alam kung for Survivor Series siya or Monday Night Raw. What do you think, Ro?
It could be for Survivor Series. 'Cause I don't think there's going to be a championship match. Cody is supposed to miss Survivor Series. Interesting lang. Gunther likes to say that Cody is a secondary champion, but the scene that he's got on Raw makes him actually the secondary champion. But sure, you can't say that. But I like this. I think they had a good match. I think it was also marred by Finn Balor's interference in SummerSlam, I believe. So it's a good thing to get back to while you build up whatever you have on Raw. I think it's not a bad matchup to have.
All I can say is thank God tapos na yung Damian Priest Judgment Day feud that has been going on for way too long. Pero at least ito, they're moving on from it and they're going back to Gunther versus Damian Priest. I don't mind the rematch as well. The first match was really good. Pero interesting yung character development ni Gunther after losing at Crown Jewel. He's much more humble, I think, after that loss to Cody. So, but I think this is still gonna be heel versus face. Gunther is gonna be the heel. Damien Priest is clearly over as a face, and this I can see this being penciled in for Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm. All right. Over on the women's side, we have a new number one contender as well in Io Sky. She won the Battle Royal, which involved damn near every woman in the Raw women's division. So pretty good stuff seeing everybody getting involved. Even Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill got involved here. But it looks like now that Rhea Ripley is out of the picture, si Io Sky yung first challenger ni Liv Morgan. So Chino, do you like this, having Io back in the title picture this time as a babyface?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've always held Io Sky in high regard as far as women's wrestling is concerned. To me, she has always been up there in terms of skill and of in-ring charisma. So ako okay sa akin na she is going to possibly go up against Liv Morgan. I don't know how that fits in, especially since Liv and Raquel are seemingly starting a feud, a rivalry with the current women's tag team champions here in Bianca and Jade. So tignan natin how that actually works itself in, but exciting times.
Yeah, I like this a lot. Io has proven that she is one of the elite athletes, not just a female athlete, but elite athletes period on the roster, elite wrestlers period on the roster. So you can even say that she might be better than some of the guys. So I like this a lot. It's a fresh matchup. I think we've all been a little sawa na rin with Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley thing that's been going on for literal months now. So again, Triple H really does long-term storytelling. So talagang they will beat you over the head with this one story. And I like that it's a matchup I don't think I've ever seen before. Not to my recent memory. So I like this a lot, and I can't wait to see how Liv will step up to Io's level.
Again, I'm just happy that Io's back in the main title scene because it's been a while since she competed for a world championship. That I think last time was WrestleMania, so that's over like what 6 months ago already. So it's about time, and also I'm happy that it's a fresh matchup. And I know they just did this because I don't know if this was initially in the plans, but because of the Rhea injury, they had to pivot into someone else. And I'm glad it was Io because I don't think there's anyone on the roster who is as main roster caliber than Io. Probably except Bianca and Jade, but
Yeah, I don't think we can really say that comment anymore about EO kasi entrenched na rin naman siya sa main roster. Eh. Like, you can only really say someone is main roster ready if they're not on the main roster. You know what I mean?
2 years, dude.
Main
2
event
years.
caliber pala yung sinasabi ko, the main roster. Sorry about that.
Okay, sure. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the other highlights from Monday Night Raw, including seeds being planted for the Bianca Jade inevitable breakup. But first, a quick word from our other podcasts on the Pod Network. All right, balik tayo sa mga highlights from Monday Night Raw. Let's start with the women here. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, our women's tag team champions. I think as soon as they became a team and became champions, alam naman natin na it's supposed to head to some sort of breakup angle, diba? Where we get Bianca and Jade one-on-one. But right now, with them still being champions and Liv and Raquel umaaligid rin, making a move on the women's tag team champions, ito na ba, are they planting the seeds for this breakup story?
I mean, sure, pero that doesn't mean that it's imminent. Like the fucking A-Town Down Under has been teasing their breakup since April. It's been 7 months, and they still haven't broken up. So who's to say that just because they tease a breakup doesn't mean means we'll break up talaga sila anytime soon. So they have, if this is a real thing, they have 3 breakup teases happening right now. Diba? So I don't think it's relevant to even say to even discuss whether the breakup is imminent if it's real. Diba? So for me though, I will say that I do think that the team has kind of run its course na rin, because there's only so much you can do in the women's tag team division, even though it's so deep. So the thing you got to do first is you have to make them have a long reign, and then when they do that, whoever beats them talaga, like decisively in a nice feud, will kickstart the process of them breaking up, which can take forever as well. So seeds are seeds. I think in the Triple H era, they take longer to water.
Yeah, I agree with what Rose said. Sobrang dami ng tag teams or groups that they're teasing breaking up. We got Fraction, A Town Down Under, The New Day. So with the track record of the Triple H booking, yes, they're planting this now, but I don't think they're gonna execute it. Maybe until near WrestleMania. Like that's na-imagine ko na we're gonna have Jade versus Bianca at the big stage, which is WrestleMania. So if they want, in the long-term storytelling of the Triple H era, might as well start teasing it now, and then you work on it up until that point where you actually do it, which is close to WrestleMania. Maybe February or March.
Okay, kung February or March pa, I don't think it's really long-term storytelling anymore. Kasi medyo nandun ka na sa road to WrestleMania. But Albert, you've said it. Emil, you've said it. Ikaw, Chino, do you want to see Jade versus Bianca for WrestleMania 41?
I think it's pretty inevitable. And no better place to have it than in Mania. Kasi when they signed Jade Cargill, I don't think they signed Jade Cargill with the intention of making her a tag team wrestler. Diba? Siyempre, you sign somebody like that, a blue chip prospect, somebody that other companies want in on, you sign them because you want to make them a star. And with Jade Cargill, sinama siya kay Bianca because they really wanted to legitimize her on the WWE side of things. Diba? Bianca Belair is pretty over with the fans. Alam na natin kung ano yung capabilities niya, and putting her with Jade Cargill also helps Jade in that way. Now that they've done pretty much everything as a tag team, diba? Wala na yung titles sa kanila, nakuha na nila ulit, and now they're on this run. I think breaking up at this point pretty much makes sense now because it's time for Jade Cargill to kick off her solo run. And pag nangyari yan sa WrestleMania, it'll just be another match on Mania that we have to look forward to.
All right, sounds good. Let's see kung anong kalalabasan nito. That seems quite far away pa since we still have Survivor Series and then the Rumble to get through. But something that's more a bit closer to actually happening is this Bloodline saga that's clearly headed for Survivor Series at the end of the month in the US, December 1 para sa atin. So we got this segment on Raw between Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso. Shout out to Sami, by the way, who got to cut a promo in Arabic to address the Saudi fans. I felt na it was a very special moment for him and for the Arabic fans. So good for everyone involved there. But yeah, Jey Uso got to call Sami Uso, which is pretty nice. Some tears were shed. And then Jimmy Uso, kinokontra niya. And then sabi ni Jey, come to SmackDown, hear Roman out. And Sami's like, I'm out. I don't want any part of this. Not anymore. So when Sami Zayn says he's out, you're pretty much certain that he is in. Especially since he's the most logical fourth guy to help out the OG bloodline.
Nakakainis lang kasi he said he's out, but then he did the thing at Crown Jewel. Diba? So that's not the actions of someone who's out. You can't just do that. And then, yes, you fucked up, but then you come out the next night and say that you're out of this drama when you specifically reinserted yourself in the drama. The first time when Jay came back and reunited with Jimmy, you were the one who came up to them and said to him and said, no, you shouldn't be trusting you shouldn't be trusting your old your brother and your cousin, especially your cousin. And then he says that he's out. So, hindi naman siya nagtatahi-tahi in my head properly. But obviously, I know that it's headed towards Survivor Series. And, they're headed towards Sami being the fourth guy to round out the team. But I think it's just not as sensible or as logical as they want it to be. Or as it should be. I don't know if you feel the same way.
To be fair, sabi naman ni Sami, he went out ng Crown Jewel for Jay, not necessarily for
and then he fucked
Jimmy
up.
and Roman. And then he messed up. That's why he's saying he's out, because he doesn't want to be involved in that drama again. He was just there for his boy. But nonetheless, he's involved now. He's involved. Like I said, he was last week when we were predicting at some point Sami Zayn's gonna integrate himself in this story. And as of right now, I'm just in wait and see mode. Inaabangan ko lang talaga kung ano yung mga gagawin nila, because as of right now, I am liking the progression of this story, even though some people are saying it feels rushed. But we're on the way to War Games. We're a month away from War Games, and they actually need to tell this story now instead of papahabain pa nila. So I'm just gonna wait and see how are they gonna pull this off. But again, like I said, doon yung patutunguhan to.
Mm-hmm. Ikaw, Chino, does it make sense for you? Kasi sabi ni Ro na nahirapan siya to put it all together.
Pabebe din kasi to si Sami Zayn eh. Alam naman natin na that's right. Right? Diba? Parang, like yung, alam mo yung pakipot pa siya na, yeah, I don't really want this. But then he involved himself in Crown Jewel. Kahit sabihin mong ayaw niya, his actions are saying different things. Diba? Kahit siya mismo nagsasabi out of his own mouth na ayaw niya, his actions are betraying him, and that kind of leads me to believe that it's still gonna end up a 4-on-4 OG bloodline with all four members there, diba? Kasi sabi niyo nga nung una, siya na yung logical person na isama dyan, diba? And if you really want to close the chapter on the bloodline, everybody has to be involved, even Sami Zayn. Diba? Hindi naman pwedeng si Paul Heyman isama mo dyan, right? So it's only makes sense, and this is really the only way they have. It's one of the stops here, one of the pitfalls here dito sa kwenta na for Sami to play hard to get, if you will. Also, shout out to him for cracking that promo in Arabic. I have Arabic friends who I actually asked to translate what he said. Very accurate naman. Sabi niya parang hello lang siya, and he's proud to be able to perform in Saudi Arabia, which is notable because for the longest time he's boycotted these Saudi shows. So the fact that he's actually able to be there for one of the few first time probably that he's able to be there, definitely first time that he's able to do a promo in Arabic, really speaks volumes to the representation involved.
Yeah, he's actually performed in a PLE na as of last year, but first time na magka Monday Night Raw in Saudi. So still a big deal to have Sami cut that promo in Arabic. All right, let's go to yung main event ng Monday Night Raw, the Fatal 4-Way, which Damian Priest won. Seth Rollins didn't win that main event because of the interference of Bronson Reed. So apparently, hindi pa siya tapos kay Seth, even after Rollins defeated him at Crown Jewel.
I have a big problem with this one, by the way, because hindi
So you don't hate Solo anymore, you hate Bronson now.
I actually like Bronson, but hindi natin ito napag-usapan nung weekend reactions, but you're trying to establish this guy as a monster, yet in big matches he always loses. He lost the last Monster Standing match, and then he lost this one. When nung nanalo si Seth nung sa Crown Jewel, what the fuck talaga ako, because like I thought you're trying to put over Bronson, and you can do all this, you can do all the tsunamis, he can do all the interferences, but if you're not gonna give this guy legit wins, walang saysay yung push sa kanya eh. So I don't know, maybe they're gonna have a future match down the line, but he needs some wins badly.
Triple H, nakaaway na to.
Oh my gosh.
No, but I agree with him. I kind of was weirded out by yung results of Crown Jewel na Bronson couldn't beat Seth. Like, yes, I get it, Seth is a veteran. Seth is the crafty architect, and he's the more traveled, experienced wrestler. Pero this is a big dude, you know. This is a guy that took him out, so he should be killing him like Brock did John Cena back in the day, diba? So I don't agree with it, and Shepard, I do think that it's gonna lead to a big redemption win for Bronson Reed whenever that is. Probably at Survivor Series, I don't know. Pero you do need to pull the trigger on these things. Like, yes, Seth needs to be protected because he's a big star, but all the same, Seth should also be able to eat losses to guys like Bronson Reed, who is, believable as a guy who would destroy Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm. Ikaw, Chino, does this strike you as weird?
Yeah, kasi tama din sila when they said that they were using Seth to put Bronson over, pero until now, hindi pa rin nangyayari. What this strikes me as is that Bronson just looks like a big baby here na parang nagreklamo siya in the form of tsunamis na hindi niya matalo-talo si Seth Rollins, right? So he tsunamis everybody but still can't get a win in. Parang medyo dumadating na sa point na ineffective din yung tsunami in a sense, which shouldn't be that case because he's almost 400 pounds and he crushes you with all his weight from the top rope. Diba? So parang ano pong point ng mga pinagagawa niya? Diba? At the same time, I'm a little glad that this rivalry isn't over yet because I really love this Bronson Reed rivalry. I think it has started making potential for Bronson Reed. Whether or not they actually go through with it is clearly another question.
Mm-hmm. All right. You mentioned this earlier, Emil. Another breakup angle that we have to pay attention to again is the New Days, because we learned this week that there is an anniversary celebration being planned for the New Day on Monday Night Raw. And then binalita rin ng Fightful Select that they already filmed some stuff at WWE headquarters weeks ago. So this New Day anniversary celebration is happening in a few weeks. If I remember correctly, November 2014 nagsimula yung New Day. So with all of the tension between Kofi and Woods right now, we'll start with you, Emil. What do you think? Is a breakup happening at their 10th anniversary? Or what is the end game of all of this tension?
I still think the end game is Big E returning and, pagbabatiin niya tong si Kofi and si Woods. Like it's too obvious. No, if it's a breakup, like it's in the Triple H era, I can see them pulling a swerve and actually making the team stronger after going through a rough patch. Sinabi ko nga sa Discord natin, bakit na lang every yung conflict between tag teams end up in breakups? Like, can't there be a tag team that goes to conflict and end up stronger together? Just like relationships in real life. So I want something. I just want something new here, and say na, they're gonna end up fixing their the little feud and win the tag team championships. That's where I think it's headed towards.
I've always liked the point of pride that they had in the fact that they are a collective of wrestlers who support each other, diba? And that they've never decided to break up, or they've never agreed to being broken up in the traditional way that many teams break up. I've always liked that because it bucks the trend that Vince has long established because he doesn't really like tag teams. So I'm still hoping that they have stuck to their word. They stand their ground and push for the fact that they are brothers who will not break up. And mas believable sa akin na, you go through some conflicts, you go through some issues with your relationships, your friendships, and you just man up. You become adults and work it out like proper grown-ups, diba? And that's what I'm still hoping will happen when they do this 10th anniversary celebration. Is it next week? Did they say next week?
Hindi pa sinabi.
Yeah, hindi pa sinabi, no? So I really hope that I think the New Day has enough pull to be able to subvert the trend. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, apparently their debut was on the November 28th episode of SmackDown. So we have a few weeks until then. Yeah. Ikaw, Chino, gusto mo ba na si Big E magbabati sa nila, or do you want them to break up on their 10th anniversary?
Okay, medyo loaded question din. Kasi they have planted the seeds of them breaking up, diba? Dami ng vignettes. Even just from last week's Raw in Saudi Arabia, nakita natin in the background, nag-aaway pa sila. Diba? Which was a nice touch that I just had to mention here. I just really like those background community style drop-ins. So, nag-aaway pa rin sila hanggang ngayon. There's still a little bickering going on. But to dedicate an entire episode of Raw to this team only for them to break up seems pretty counterintuitive, diba? Kasi magsa-celebrate kayo ng 10 years, tas anong ending niyan? Magbabackstaban sila. Parang, I mean,
super
yes,
kicks
this is
through the
wrestling.
window.
Diba? Exactly, diba? Like, diba? It is wrestling, so it could happen. But at the same time, isipin na din natin where the New Day is on the card. Because yes, they've been around 10 years, but they are not main event players now. Diba? Medyo mid-card sila eh. So, yes, you're dedicating an entire episode of Raw to this, but if the big ending is, pun not intended here, is for them to backstab each other, and parang hindi din siya productive of a Raw episode. You get what I mean? Like, it doesn't really
To be
help
fair,
them
di naman natin sinasabi
moving
na the
forward.
entire episode's going to be dedicated to the New Day. It's just a segment, I guess, or like a celebration that's probably gonna happen on the week of the anniversary. Hindi naman siya yung parang buong episode.
I thought Pierce said something like that. Anyway, baka mali lang na yung intindi ko. But anyway, my understanding
Actually, we
was
don't
the
know.
whole
Kasi
episode
they
just
never
for
really, they haven't really announced the details for it. So
Oh,
we
di pa
don't actually
pinopromote
know.
eh.
Right.
Yeah. They just did the
Right,
backstage
okay.
segment na.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll
So
see.
yeah, regardless whether they get a new episode, an entire episode to themselves, or a segment where they celebrate this, I don't think they are going to break up. If they do, Color Me worked.
All right.
Oo nga.
All right, one last bit from Monday Night Raw, tong background ni Raw. We got to talk about Bo Dallas and the Wyatt Six going after The Miz. So this is fun. I appreciated yung continuity. Like, I totally forgot kung ano yung link ni na Miz and Bo Dallas. And then we had to be reminded via the Wyatt Six's VHSs that Bo Dallas was once part of the B team, and that The Miz once treated Bo Dallas as his lackey. And then now that Bo Dallas has flown over the cuckoo's nest, he's now able to terrorize The Miz like this. So, did you like this?
I enjoyed it because for once, the Wyatt Six is doing something that doesn't involve Bray at all. Diba? Like, this has nothing to do with Bray Wyatt's stories or characters. This is Bo Dallas, and now Bo Dallas is able to inject his own history into the character. So for those who are maybe complaining that this is, stealing or ripping off everything Bray's ever done, rather, I think this is now evolved past Bray, and then we're now able to get the Wyatt Six gimmick a life of its own through Bo Dallas. And whether or not you feel that it's compelling enough compared to Bray stuff, I do appreciate that they're trying to do something different here, and you get to pull in more people. And Miz has a better story than what he's been subjected to for most of his career.
Yeah, I also like this this story because, like, I agree with what Bro said. This is Wyatt Six, like, fully integrating themselves into the story instead of just being a tribute act to Bray Wyatt. And this is kabang-abang to yung mangyayari dito because it involves Miz, and there's a history there with him and Bo Dallas. And I'm glad that they referenced it because sometimes in the Vince's era, they wouldn't go as far back, when it comes to referencing current storylines. But I'm glad that they did here, even as minor as him being a part of the B team. So I clearly liked it. Miz was I liked Miz's acting as well. It was acting scared. You could see it in his eyes. And yeah, it was good.
Ikaw, Chino, did you like this angle that they're doing here with The Miz in this scaredy heel role?
Yeah, I liked it. I like, first of all, like you mentioned, the continuity. Diba? We forgot about the Miztourage here, or the B team, and the fact that he brought it up. Diba? They brought it up, and they reminded us that once upon a time, Alipores lang sila ni The Miz, ni Curtis Axel. So it's nice that we're getting that little throwback, that little reference thrown in there. It also furthers the ethos of the Wyatt Six, who go after and I just read this online and it made so much sense. They go after the people who betray their families, diba? Quote unquote, diba? They did it with Chad Gable, and now they're doing it with The Miz, diba? So it makes a lot of sense because The Miz just backstabbed R-Truth. Diba? Because he was tired of Karrion Kross got in his head, and now he's doing his own thing, and now unfortunately he's caught between a rock that is Karrion Kross and a place that is the Wyatt Six. Diba? Ang pangit sa kanya nun, diba? Speaking of Karrion Kross, he's also been dropping a lot of subtle, very surreal hints on social media promos, diba? I don't know if it has anything to do with this. I think it does, but I'm still trying to figure out kung ano yung kinalaman niya talaga dito sa larger picture na to. Because the fact that he's painting on a reel and showing us disturbing images, clearly may kinalaman to sa Wyatt Six, and I can't wait for things to come to a head.
Ito tinatanong ni Doc G, do you see Miz asking for Curtis Axel's help? I don't think so.
No.
I actually want Curtis Axel to be part of the Wyatt Six now.
Is he even in WWE at this point?
Well, no, he's not. He's not. Tagal na siyang wala.
Tsaka ubus na rin yung characters ni Bray Wyatt eh. So, who would you dress up Curtis Axel as?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Bo. I'm sure Bo can figure something out.
That will be a Bo Dallas problem, not a we problem. All right, let's take a break. We're going to talk about NXT and AEW after this quick word from our other podcasts on the Pod Network. All right, let's talk about NXT 2300, which happened kanina lang din because of Election Day yesterday. So, big thoughts on what was essentially a tribute show to ECW.
Nag-step up talaga yung NXT pagkatapat nila yung Dynamite. But I did like the ECW tribute show because technically NXT is the spiritual successor to ECW, and it was the all over the place yung ECW references. Dawn Marie, RVD, even Nunzio. Nunzio had a match. I haven't seen Nunzio in such a long time. Bubba Ray Dudley. We got segments as well in between. They reference a lot of ECW stuff. So I did like it. Na maximize nila yung the fact that they were at the old ECW arena.
Nunzio was just in TNA like the other month. That's the thing that happened. So people have clowned me for this take.
FBI.
Yeah. People have clowned me for this take that NXT always brings in old stars kapag katapat na yung AEW. Which is correct because, again, historically, Dynamite has beaten NXT nung pandemic era. But that's a pandemic era. And that was when Dynamite was popping. And Dynamite isn't as popping anymore. But, syempre, if you are a smart promoter, you do have to bring in the big guns whenever you're going head to head, and that's what they did. Interesting na, and I don't know if they planned this ahead of time, but I'm sure they did because it's you don't book a venue a week before. So interesting thing. It's good if you are an old ECW fan, which we'll be talking about in this week's Reminisce is over, but for the most part, it was fun. It was fun. I think it's a good thing for NXT to just really scale up from the performance center and just do what they do around the country and see how much people they can get in their doors.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just take this from here. I will take advantage of the lag and say something pretty hot takey here.
Oh, go.
I've caught original ECW for a lot of the time before yung naging third brand siya. And seeing all these tributes, these reminiscing shows, these memories of old ECW on WWE programming made me realize yung ECW para sila yung Native Americans ng wrestling diba? Binili sila ng
Whoa there.
Binili sila ng
I'm gonna have to warn you to be very careful with what you say next.
Let me explain. Kinonquer sila ng mas malaking entity. Diba? Sinakop sila ng mas malaking entity. Okay? And nawala na yung identity nila. And once a year, we get to reminisce of what old ECW was like. Diba? Sakto, malapit na din Thanksgiving. So, pasok pa rin siya sa team, diba? Diba? It's not original ECW. It's people cosplaying as ECW. You get what I mean? Original ECW was scary and edgy. And I get PG era, hindi nila pwedeng gawin yan. But nowadays, as a guy who's seen original ECW and see Sandman walk to the ring, nalasing na siya, and see Sabu nearly kill himself on a chair spot. Parang gets ko yung ginagawa nila, but original ECW is still original ECW.
Yeah, it's actually a good point. That's also kind of why I'm, very lukewarm on any ECW tribute thing that's happening. Like, even if I were around for it, like, it's not really something that resonates with me, especially if you can't do it the same way. If you can't pull in the same vibe as ECW back in the day. Kasi you can do it on AEW, but AEW is still a big arena production. Diba? It's never gonna be an underground thing unless maybe you do the small arena residency na ginawa nila a couple of months back. So yeah, Chino's right. I don't quite understand myself how how the ECW throwbacks still resonate. I think the only proper way it was really done was nung unang one night stand. Yeah, where they actually did it in the ECW arena or in the Hammerstein, but sorry. So, but if that's your thing, if that's your vibe, then what am I? Who am I to say that it's bad? It's just that it's not. I agree with Chino that it's not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They have been doing ECW tribute shows longer than ECW
That's true.
originally
No,
existed.
that's right. It's actually right. Yeah.
They've been paying tribute to ECW since like 2005. Every year, lagi na lang may ECW tribute. It's been what, like to 20 years na.
Yeah. More than 20 years.
ECW died in 2001. Over 20 years.
Yeah.
Oh.
ECW has been dead for as long as Rowan has been alive.
Oh.
Jeez.
Which probably tells you now with all of the ECW tributes, diba, for as short of a life as ECW had, that tells you how big of an impact it had on the culture of wrestling.
Yeah. Saka hanggang ngayon, the original ECW stars still get to be in wrestling programming once in a while, di ba?
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Did the cameos hit for you?
Nalilito kay RVD. Like, they had him wear his wrestling gear, pero he didn't do any wrestling. They had
Maybe
him
he
wear
wrestled to level up. It's possible that they had him wrestle at level up.
At least Baba did had a match. But si RVD, akala ko nga he will insert himself in the Javon Wesley match, but then he got attacked and then he went out and did a chair spy. That's pretty much it. And they had him wear his gear for that. Poor guy.
Yeah, it's alright. I mean,
din daw kasi siya ni Wesley.
I'm just glad Devon is well enough to do this to make a physical appearance. But yeah, these guys, like, I just saw Bubba wrestle Jinder Mahal in Maple Leaf Wrestling. So parang, yeah, alam mo yun. I also just saw Nunzio wrestle in TNA. So it's not, for me, it's not as, a rare Pokemon as maybe for someone like Emil. So, it's cool. If it resonates with you, then more power to you. But, the ECW guys are like 20 years past their spring chicken days. So take that as you will.
Mm-hmm. Yung pinaka di ko kilala do si Dawn Marie kasi I never saw her. I never saw her even in WWE.
God damn. Wow.
You missed out on a lot of HLA.
Sumakit yung kasuka-suka ko sa'yo, Emil.
Emil, paki-X na tong window na to.
Jasper, kailan mo si Dawn Marie?
Kakalat eh. I like the cameos. I appreciated seeing the faces that I remember seeing from back in the day. Pero at the same time, it's sabayo pa rin, diba? It's nostalgia for money's sake, diba? It's playing that card para lang matalo din sa ratings yung AEW. It's not the same at all, diba? Kahit sabihin mong may table spot yung Dudley Boys and ang labo nga ng table spot at chinoke slam niya because that's what the Dudleys are known for, right? The choke slam. So, it's not the same
I don't think
as the
I don't think Devon can do the same things.
Oh,
anymore.
I don't think he can.
Di paggawa nila dun kay Trick Williams, I mean, they gave him the glasses for a reason, diba?
Sure.
Couldn't he just do the cutter part? I'm sure he could do that. And I digress here. Again, I still stand by what I said. It's still just nostalgia for nostalgia's sake here. Parang hindi na din siya tulad ng dati, and it might sound like a grumpy old man, diba, shouting at crowds here. Pero, it's different. It hits different.
It's crazy to me that we do ECW tributes more than WCW. Like WCW was bigger, but no one's doing WCW tribute shows. Puro
That's
ECW
called
na.
AEW, Emil.
No, Chino does make a point.
Yeah,
So,
he does make a point.
Fair, fair.
Let's cross over and talk about AEW now then. Okay, Powerhouse Hobbs is back. He was in the main event. He was the mystery partner. To be fair, I thought it was Will Ospreay, but I appreciated how naswerve ako. I didn't think of Hobbs at all, and Ricochet actually explained it pretty well. Nah, hey, Don Callis, while you were out recruiting new guys, there's one guy here you totally forgot about, and he's pissed off. Enter Hobbs.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good because I had been thinking about recently how the roster ng Don Callis family was just super random because they plucked out Cage from the Cage of Agony from the old embassy from Nana's old group. Then they plucked out Lance Archer from Jake Roberts, and then I was wondering, didn't they have another guy? And then it was Hobbs. And then they realized that Hobbs wasn't actually doing anything. And then that's a good way to, make use of your gaps here, of your weaknesses. So really good stuff. I think a lot of this writing right now on AEW has been making use of the homegrown guy. So whoever's been pushing for, a healthy mix of the new signees from WWE and yung mga lifers sa AEW has been really solid and underrated so far. But I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah. Way to give. I don't think Hobbs was like the guy everyone was thinking of, but at least he did get the rub. I believe he was injured about nung a few months ago when he was wrestling John Moxley. So I appreciate that he got the rub from Will Ospreay, who did come back at the end of the show.
Yeah, I'm happy that Hobbs is back. I always do like him more as a babyface rather than a heel anyway, so I'm back that he has moved away from the Don Callis family. I mean, the Don Callis family's dynamic these days is just weird. I mean, like sobrang hindi ko nagugustuhan how they look. But that's neither here or there. And I'm just glad he's back, and I think he's going after Brian Cage in the near future, because I think Cage holds the ROH TV title, so might go after that.
Ikaw, Chino, you're a Hobbs fan, diba? So what did this do for you nung Dynamite?
I am. He's a Bay Area boy, so automatically good in my book. I like that he's being utilized. It's the point that one of you brought up. I think it was Ro who said, they're utilizing all the lifers sa AEW, the people who've been around a while. And di ba yan yung fear natin sa AEW, that when they sign somebody, they get somebody new, they just become part of the larger pile, diba? So I like how we're getting to see Hobbs in some relevance again, just like how we're getting to see somebody like Kip Sabian gain some relevance again, diba? So it's nice to see these guys not be forgotten, since they were signed for a reason in the first place, diba? So they have to have some role here in the larger picture. So the balance is starting to work out. The storytelling is starting to work out for AEW, and with good reason too, kasi 5 years old na sila, dapat lang, diba?
All right. Speaking of being 5 years old, it seems like AEW is tweaking the formula of their shows, diba? We've been used to AEW saying now we're the alternative, so we won't do things the way that you're used to watching sa WWE. And for 2 straight weeks now, AEW's taken from what everyone generally recognizes as the WWE playbook, and they've started with a promo.
Yeah. Okay, this is weird because on the whole, like in a vacuum, I wouldn't be against it. Like when you are coming from kunyari ito, when you are coming from a surprise debut from last week at the end of last week's episode of Dynamite, where Lashley comes in, syempre naturally the thought is that you lead into the next show with the people or the guys that people wanted to see, and you address the thing, and that's totally logical. But at the same time, you do have WWE critics who dislike yung format ng WWE shows where every TV episode starts with a promo. And you sometimes you just want to see wrestling first before you want to see guys talking to open the show. And while I think that both things have their fans and have their strengths and their pros, for a challenger brand, for an alternative in AEW, I think you do have to do what the company you're competing against isn't doing. Because you don't want the critics of the other company complaining about the same thing on your show. That's just my take. But I also get it. Like the very first segment of the first hour is like one of the strongest as well on TV. Not generally how it goes. So it gets good in, but it's just weird. I'm still undecided about how I feel about it. Because when I tune into Dynamite, I appreciate the fact that the episodes start with a good match. Diba? Like I've been conditioned to think or to expect that I'm gonna get a great opener to begin the show. So I don't quite. I'm leaning towards not wanting to see, the Raw promo playbook, the Welcome to Monday Night Raw playbook happen on Dynamite as well.
Mm-hmm.
Ang sa akin lang naman, as long as they don't do it every week, it's fine. I mean, mix it up. I like it when they mix it up once in a while, Kasi, parang dati every week din, they start with a match, right? So, once in a while, just throw in a little bit different here. Mix in a promo, especially with this one as well na, yun nga, sabi ni Ro kanina, galing tayo last week where they had a surprise appearance at the end. So, people are naturally gonna ask like an explanation or promo from them. So that's what they did this week, and appreciated it. As long as again they don't do it every week, kasi yon magmumukha na talagang they're copying the WWE format.
Mm-hmm. Ikaw, Chino, do you dig this?
I appreciate what they're trying to do here. They're recognizing finally na importante din pala ang storytelling and importante din pala to, not just rely on so much on the great wrestling action that they've been offering us. That said, I do not appreciate the 1:1 copying na ginagawa nila na ginagawa nila din sa kabila. It's successful. So kaya hindi natin, diba? Parang it's a little too blatant on my end. Tama nga din yung sinabi ni Ro where he said that just because it's working on the other side doesn't mean gagana din siya sa side natin, because there are critics on either side, diba? Na against what the WWE and or AEW are doing. So I appreciate the storytelling and let it be said that, pero I also am starting to miss the first hot action match that we get every time AEW shows happen.
Mm-hmm. Sige. We've got a couple more points on AEW. It's a bit of a supersized episode this week, so we'll get to one last break as we hear from our other podcasts on the Pod Network. All right, let's talk about Malachi Black, who had a match with Adam Cole. Kasi si Adam Cole and Roderick Strong, they're both trying to win 3 matches in a row to get the MJF at Full Gear. But lost in the shuffle of all of this is the fact that may bali-balita surrounding Malachi Black's contract status in AEW. So sabi ng Fightful, the word backstage is that Malachi may be wrapping up with AEW by the end of 2024 or sometime at the start of 2025. So baka raw yun yung explanation between Malachi Black and the rest of the House of Black suddenly becoming human. Like, this is weird. Like, Malachi Black, for as long as he's been around AEW, he's been billed as from the House of Black or honoring the House of Black. And now they build him from Amsterdam, Netherlands, which I'm glad that it's actually Netherlands now, diba? Kasi in WWE, he was from Amsterdam, Holland. So yun, binil siya from Amsterdam, and then at the end, he hugged Adam Cole. Like, just like minutes ago, they were so hell-bent on kicking each other's asses, and all of a sudden, biglang, oh, I love you now. I love you, Adam!
I take it as like, may bigla akong naalalang example. Di ba, si Deathstroke from the Arrow TV series, nung nag-appear na siya ulit after a few years, parang naging normal na siya ulit na tao.
Bakit? So, parang si Malachi Black?
Yun. So, kung ano man yung mystic power that they had all these years, it has worn off. That's the kayfabe explanation I had in my mind. That's why tao na sila ulit. They're normal human beings na ulit. So, like,
Yeah,
I wish I explained something like that, but that's how it made sense in my mind.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's in your mind. It's not something
yeah.
that exists yet on screen. It hasn't been shown to us. I can't until they explain what's happening to the House of Black. That's still in your head. That's still that's still fan fiction. That's still a fan theory. So, I don't mind them becoming human, especially if they're about to lose a lot. But I do wish that, for all the weird cryptic vignettes they've done over the history as the House of Black, di nila naisipan or di nila na push na gawan nila ng explanation to. Diba? Like, talk about this stuff, talk about it after, or, after what happened to you guys fighting the patriarchy. Like, it's so easy to insert a few minutes talking about what happened to you guys. Like, I don't understand why, of all the things that they need to explain, they haven't explained any of this. Or do they just not care anymore because they're wrapping it up? I just wish that there was more effort put into it.
Mm-hmm. Ikaw, Chino, what do you think they could have done?
Yeah, I think them becoming human really is just a way for them being the House of Black, to show a little bit more emotion kasi parang nag-gear na sila towards a farewell run here kung totoo nga aalis na si Malachi Black. Now, that said, yes, I agree with everybody else here in saying na dapat may explanation man lang kung bakit nawala na yung powers nila, diba? Not that headcanon Emil just said, or something that's tangible, diba? Something that can be seen on TV. Kasi ang problema dyan is AEW is just doing what AEW has been doing, and it's just changing stories without explaining why they changed the story, diba? Parang things are just happening so fast, especially outside the ring, diba, with contracts and whatnot, that they all of a sudden kailangan na nilang baguhin yung character ng House of Black without any explanation whatsoever. And that's something that I kind of find very annoying. Kasi, di ba, hindi naman tayo bobo eh. Siyempre, kailangan din natin ng reason kung bakit nagbago bigla si Malachi Black, di ba? Why is he all of a sudden
pero
from the
maraming bobo sa
Netherlands,
ibang
di ba?
bansa.
Why? Well, yes, that's true. It's universal. Sabi nga ni Kabulastugan, di ba?
Tama naman.
Bobotantes are universal, but neither here nor there. I am just agreeing with everybody else saying that we need an explanation for this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A story that they did provide explanations for is Kip Sabian now being part of the patriarchy. Ito may effort. Like, they actually explained na why Christian Cage is going after Hook, why Kip Sabian wants to be part of the patriarchy. Diba? Tinawag niya siyang fatherless loser. Tapos Kip Sabian parang gago. Like, talaga pumayag ka na Christian Cage called you a fatherless loser? But at least may explanation, diba?
Yes, anything that gets you on the card. It's like Lexus King. You need to get on the card, so you get called a fatherless loser. I like this. It goes with what I said earlier. It goes with what I said earlier. Now they're finding ways for the lifers to get more roles again. So Chino clocked this one correctly. Nakakatawa lang na that Christian Cage was trying to get Hook to come to join him by basically talking shit about Taz and wishing he was dead. So as though that's gonna work. That was funny, but I don't know where this is going, but I am somewhat entertained by it. I think they made
Dude,
it
we
work.
need Nick Wayne's face on a meme. Like that is a memeable image right there.
I mean, I think in a way then parang they slotted Kip Sabian in dun sa spot ni yung pangalan Kill Switch because
Yeah,
he's
the kill
out
switch.
for the meantime.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's his role there, and who knows? Maybe at some point they're gonna tell the story of Kip being an inside mole and destroying the patriarchy from within. Malay natin. Because he went after Christian nung una, but then after that, nagsunod-sunod lang siya. So,
Ikaw, Chino, do you like this development?
Oh yeah, definitely. I have been a fan of Kip Sabian. I Sabian rather. I appreciate that they've involved somebody who's been there for the longest time. Kasi naalala niyo ba yung gimmick niya where he was just in a paper bag in the audience?
yeah.
That
Yeah.
went on for a few months and he was just there. He
Yeah.
didn't wrestle or anything. He was just there trying to be relevant. Ganun kalala yung lowest point of career niya. And now, he's actually on Dynamite in a relevant storyline. So, I appreciate that. I appreciate how we get to see Penelope Ford again. Diba? Nagagamit na ulit siya. I appreciate how they're trying to bring everybody back into fold again because Tony Khan realizes that he just has too many toys that he's forgotten about.
All right. Last bit here we got to talk about is the women. I don't know if you guys noticed yung vignette ni Mina Shirakawa kanina. It's actually been airing since Collision. Mina is coming, but today they included the QR code and half of the graphic is in black and white. And that QR code, if you scan it, leads you to a video on AEW's YouTube channel from 2 weeks ago. And it's a short Where in the World is Timeless Tony Storm film. So, I don't know, magkasama ba sila when they appear next week?
Probably, yeah. I do remember when Mariah turned on Tony that see Mina was like bewildered about the whole thing. So it's not. I wouldn't be surprised, especially after their match, development and whatever, they ended up being a throuple. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mina was allying herself with Tony Storm. Just this QR code thing. Come on. Seriously. The thing about it is that it's heavily associated with the Wyatt Six already. So, yes, it's different. Yes, nobody owns a QR code, but at this point, it's not a good look, to be doing this thing. So, if you really wanted to show a video vignette, just show the vignette. Why do we have to go an extra mile and scan the QR code and pause the screen to scan the QR code? I don't want.
Para daw
Come on.
interactive.
Still,
I had to go back right before the unang hirit video would play and find the QR code.
Diba? Diba? It's so, come on. It's like one of the, you think it seems cool, but it's not like the best idea to come from the Wyatt Six stuff, because they've been badgering you they've been assaulting you with QR codes for weeks. Like, just show the video.
Hindi nga Wyatt 6 eh. Wyatt pa lang mismo. Diba?
Oh yeah, Bray Wyatt.
Bray
Yes,
Wyatt,
right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sabi ni Doc G, at least hindi raw Rick Roll. Doc G, it's
Yeah.
2024.
No, Adam Pearce kasi still does Rick rolls as of last year.
Okay. Ikaw, Chino, did you like this?
I appreciated it. But ako, I'm with Ro here. Hindi pinit din kasi I associate the QR code with characters that are subversive and mental, diba? Yeah, the Wyatt Six, Bray himself, they've all used the QR code because they wanted to appear mysterious, diba? And thought-provoking, diba? Wanted you to dive deep down. With this one, parang ano yung mystery ni Mina Shirakawa, diba? Na where Tony Storm is. Is that the big mystery here? If Tony Storm's gonna come out with her? I don't really know if that's enough to warrant a whole ass QR code here. So parang medyo, I know we're focusing on the one thing that happened, pero it's just a little weird that they decided to go with the QR code of all things. Whether or not Tony Storm appears, ako feeling ko yes, because why the hell else would they go to the trouble of putting a QR code as part of this whole vignette? Diba? Parang gagawin nila for fun? Doesn't make sense.
Saka the QR was hindi na siya kailangan doon because they already teased Tony Storm by just having the screen be half of the screen be black and white. So if I was a viewer, okay, I know like Tony's gonna do something here because that's her thing, you know, and yun lang no. I'm just glad that Mariah May will be featured in a feud again. It's been a while. She's been doing this little side quest lately, but I'm glad.
No, she defended against Anna Jay on Collision.
It feels like secondary talaga kasi to the TBS title eh.
But
But now
ka
I think
nanonood ng Collision, Emil.
I do. But with them revisiting the Tony Storm feud and with Mina Sharakawa in it or inserted in it, I feel like it will boost the women's world championship scene once again.
All right. If you want to get your comments into mga pinag-usapan natin this week on the pod, it's at Wrestling2XPod on TikTok and on Twitter, at Wrestling Podcast everywhere else. We will catch you tomorrow night. It's a quiz night, November 8th, Friday at Hobby Stadium. And as we announce on social media, we will announce again that we will make an announcement at quiz night. So if you want to be part of that, then you have to show up to quiz night. All right? So may announcement tayo dun. Chino, what do you got going on?
Yeah, so quickly, next week, I will be at Super Sam Scout Tobias QC with the other comedians from Comedy Manila for our regular Whimsy Wednesday showcase. It's 6 comedians. It's a free show featuring myself and 5 other guys from our current roster. Also doing a show with Adsis C for his birthday, getting to host that alongside other comedians and an improv group, Housekeeping Improv, of Third World Improv. That is on Friday, November 16th at the Greyhound Cafe, Ayala Triangle Branch. Tickets available at comedymanila.ph. Also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Chino Supersized. It is chock full of new content. I started uploading all my past international performances. So these are sets that I've just recorded, that have just been sitting on my memory card somewhere, and I've decided to let the world know how horrible I am in English. So put it up. I put it up on YouTube. Please subscribe. Also follow me on other social media at Chino Supersized.
Ro, magbabalik ba yung Playback TV watch
Also,
parties? It's 1 hour later na.
We don't know yet because we ran into an issue in the last airing when it came to the broadcast provider. So I don't think we have fixed that yet. So stay tuned. I will probably let you know by tomorrow night. Kung meron. But what is coming back is Unmasked. Unmasked is coming back tomorrow with a new episode, finally, after a month break because of real life. So go follow us, Unmasked: The Chronicles of Roman and Sandata, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So go check that out. And please go buy tickets to Pusong Wrestling's final show of the year, Pusong Pinoy, happening on November 30, again at the Broad Pit Bulusan. Tickets are available at pusowrestling.helixpay.ph.
All right. Emil, any plugs?
No, naman, I will, I will see you guys tomorrow. You know.
All right, cool. Thanks everybody for joining us for another episode of the Wrestling Podcast. Thank you, babyface producer Jasper and everyone over at the Pod Network for all of your help behind the scenes. And thank you, MJ, for plugging another show that you can catch on Blast TV.
No. That yun yung sinasabi naming issues sa playback. So because playback we had to switch to a different channel. That ended up showing Chicago Fire
in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, in the last 15 minutes of SmackDown a couple of weeks ago.
Fun stuff. All right, we gotta get out of here. Thanks everyone for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow at Quiz Night. For Romaran, Chino Liao, and Emil Nate, I'm Stan C. Stay safe, stay dry, and don't be a dick. Wrestling Podcast out.
I love you so